how to do gigs with DJ Pro AI. I'm DJ Spiegelspin, and in this video, I'm going to share with you guys the differences between DJing with DJ Pro AI and DJing with other softwares and other setups. Whether you've been DJing with a laptop or DJing another way for years and you're thinking of switching over to DJ Pro AI and the iPad, or if you're planning on getting into DJing and getting into doing gigs, and you plan to start with an iPad and DJ Pro AI, this video is for you. So there are a lot of differences and a lot of precautions and a lot of rules that we have to follow when we're DJing and doing paid gigs and have responsibility with DJ Pro AI, because it depends on the type of gigs. Some are more important than others, such as if you're DJing at the bar on the corner on a Thursday night, is a lot different, and there's a lot less pressure than if you're doing somebody's wedding. But either way, as DJs, we want to look professional and we want to be able to provide a great service. So the number one rule would be to always have a backup plan. So DJ Pro and the iPad, although it works great most of the time, I never really had a problem. But things could go wrong. Your iPad could get disconnected. The app could crash. Your whole iPad could crash. Or maybe your charger wasn't charging and then your iPad dies and then you have no iPad to DJ with. So always have a backup plan. So since we are DJing with DJ Pro and practicing with DJ Pro on the iPad, get good, do a couple practice sessions on DJing with the app on your phone. If you have the subscription, you could use it on your phone or on your iPad. So if something goes wrong with the iPad, you could just quickly switch over to your phone and continue your set. Or if you want to do something a little easier, you could always just load a pre-recorded mix or something until you figure out why your iPad isn't working. And just make sure that your phone is connected to your DJ setup, either through Bluetooth or if there is a section where you could plug it in. So always have a backup plan. If something goes wrong, then we're prepared. The next thing that is going to be different is we are going to be DJing with an iPad. So with a laptop, you just set a laptop down, open it up, and there you go. You could adjust this. You could adjust the screen. You could adjust different stuff. But when we're DJing with an iPad, it's really important that when you guys do these gigs, you get a professional, heavy-duty iPad stand. So don't show up there with one of these like Dollar Tree ones. Try to find a stand that could handle being hit, being scratched on, and when you're really getting into DJing, you really don't want your iPad to fall. It could really ruin your set because we're DJing with our iPad, so the iPad is the most important thing for us. So next is going to be involving the iPad again, but that is, how are you going to keep it charged? DJing uses a lot of your battery power. You're going to have the screen on pretty high. You're going to have the screen. You're not really going to exit out of the screen or dim the iPad at any time, and you're going to be DJing for hours and hours. So we are going to need to keep the iPad charged, and we're going to have to keep it cool. So when you choose what charger you get, it's very important, but even more important because with DJing with an iPad, iPads only have one place to plug things in. The new iPad Pros, you could plug in USB-C. So in order to plug in your controller, you're going to need to get an adapter. So make sure that adapter has a place where you could charge the iPad. So this is one of the first adapters that I got. So you plug this into the iPad, and then you plug the iPad, and then you plug your controller into one of these USBs or whatever else you want to plug into it through USBs. So I had my controller plugged in, but then I realized that there is no place to plug in a charger. So if your iPad dies, your set's over. And like I said, DJing uses a lot of power. You could, if you're doing like an outdoor gig, you could DJ for like an hour or two, or maybe even a couple of hours without worrying about it being charged. But eventually you're going to have to charge your iPad. So make sure the first thing that you pick up when you're getting ready to do one of these gigs is a high quality adapter with a USB-C, and then you could plug in the USB-C, but pay attention to how much it's going to charge, because you want to make sure it's charging more than the power you're using, obviously. So you could use a 60-watt charger on the iPad, and I made a separate video about specific chargers for the iPad, so I will leave a link down below. But the next thing is going to be use all the features of the app to our advantage and use it in consideration when we are negotiating our price. So another thing that involves one of these adapters is going to be the HDMI port. So now if somebody asks us to do a gig, or if we get a gig somehow, we can say, and they ask the price, we could say for DJing, regular setup is this price. But if you want to have video mixing and you want to have music videos and visuals, then you could add to your set an additional price for the video segment. So now just because we're using this app, we could charge a higher percentage. And also that means in video mode, you could practice. This is something good to get used to. I think it's the future of DJing, because people get bored really easily and have short attention spans. So if we're DJing with not only music, but with music videos, it really adds a whole nother element, and it's a great feature with Djay Pro. So if you plan on doing gigs in 2023 with Djay Pro AI, definitely consider adding some type of video mixing into your set. Now, another thing that you're going to want to do is figure out how you're going to get the music that you're going to be playing, because the iPad they do make ones with pretty big memory, but it's nowhere near as much as like a laptop. So if you plan on DJing with streaming services, like I do, all my music is on Tidal streaming service. So just make sure when you're doing the gig that you're gonna, for sure, 100% be able to connect to the internet, whether you have a mobile plan on your iPad like I do, or if you are gonna use your phone as a hotspot. Just if you could go to the gig a day before or a week before and just test out loading songs, that would really, it'll save you some sleep. It'll make you not as nervous about not having your music, because that's the worst thing when you show up to DJ and you don't have your music. Also, you could use additional hard drives and USB storage devices with one of these adapters. So that is another way to get all of your music into the app. So, and the next thing is just have fun, and just, even if you're DJing with an iPad, Djay Pro, and a small controller, you're still DJing, you're still getting yourself out there, you're still doing gigs, and it's always good to get more experience. And you can't really practice how to read a crowd. You can't really practice what song to play next unless you've been DJing and doing these gigs for a while. So definitely get out there and do gigs. If you found value in this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome DJ